Welcome to Kami. Kami is a really awesome document annotation and markup tool that allows you to create, send, and grade assignments all in one place. It works with both Google Drive, OneDrive, and Google Classroom. Here's the homepage for Kami. Here you can see all of the different ways that you can upload files or create assignments for your students to use on Kami. You can upload straight from Google Drive, your computer, or OneDrive, create a blank page, upload straight from Google Classroom, or use any of their trending resources. You can see here that some examples are Venn diagrams, bubble maps, and you can customize them for your own needs. Another really awesome way to provide students with resources is using the split and merge, where you can mix and match any files to create new materials for your students. To show you some of the ways to use Kami, I'm going to upload straight from my computer. Let's use this article of the week that I use for my ELA class. Now that we have an assignment to annotate, let's look at the tools available. The first task for students to do is number the paragraphs. So I'm going to go over here on the left where all of the tools are listed and go to drawing. Drawing here, I can choose a color and a stroke thickness, and I'm going to number the paragraphs. So I will go here and I can draw one. Go down to the next paragraph, draw number two, and so on. You can use this drawing tool for so many different things, and this is one way that I use it. Now that we've numbered the paragraphs, we're going to move on to circle and define unfamiliar words or key terms. We could use the drawing setting again to circle, but since we're exploring the tools here, let's look at the shapes. So shapes is down here. We can go down to ellipse, choose that, and find a word that we don't know the meaning of. Let's circle procrastination. So I didn't do that quite perfectly, but you see the picture. You can create shapes using all of these different options on the page as we annotate. Students can then go immediately up to this dictionary setting at the top of the toolbar where there's an embedded dictionary for students to find definitions of unknown words. So we're looking at the word procrastination. Looking at more tools on Kami. Let's add a text box here. We can add a text box here and put in the definition of procrastination so students have access to it readily. Now that we have explored those few, I'm going to go back to drawing, just as I would ask students to do, and have them check off the next task. Moving on to highlighting main ideas. Here we can go to the markup tool, and there are many different ways to mark up. There are box highlighters, freehand highlighters, text highlighters. I like to use the text highlighter because I find it easiest, and there are many different highlight colors to choose from. Let's go with yellow. Just to show you, we can highlight a sentence here. It's super easy. If you did want to see the other ones, for instance, here's a freehand highlighter, and you just do it on your own. Some other ways that students can mark up their documents are using the strike through or underlining. There's also an eraser feature if students make any mistakes during their work on these documents. I saved two of my favorite Kami features to talk about last, one being adding media. We all know that students love the option to add media to their work. So they can do this through their computer, through Google Drive, through Google image searches, through YouTube, etc. Let's do it through Google image search. Let's type up the word procrastination and see what comes up. Students can then add visuals that help them remember what words mean, just as an example of how to use this tool. The last tool on Kami that I wanted to go over is this read aloud feature. So here, students can have the text read aloud to them, which helps so much, especially if you have students who have this as an accommodation. They can go back previous sentences, move forward to future sentences, have it read to them on a loop, read entire pages, stop. There are even ways to change the voice or make it go faster or slower. A tool that I end up utilizing much more myself than having students utilize is the comment option. So for commenting, you can go anywhere on the document and type comments for your students to see or vice versa. Let's move over here to the right side of the screen. So here you can see additional settings that you can change when you are sharing this with students. You can delete all annotations, whether they be your own annotations as a teacher or student annotations. This one's really awesome because another feature of Cami that I utilize very often is the ability to have these documents be shared with multiple people at one time. So, for instance, you could share this document with the class and have a class annotation session rather than an individual. And you can use the different color options to differentiate who is doing what on the page. And that is one way that I use the restore or delete annotations. And lastly, I like to use the presentation mode when I do ask students to present their work. So here you see that the toolbar on the left side is no longer visible, and students can show their work this way. Now that we have gone over just about all of the different tools that are available on Cami for both students and teachers to utilize, I'm going to go back to the homepage to show you once more what is available to you. I seriously hope that you enjoy using and exploring Cami, and I hope that you love it as much as I have.